Hello everyone, this is HSK here, back some more Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm 1v1 action. You guys know the routine. We're picking up right where we left off, which was on game number 4, as it is currently not tied up. It is definitely not tied up, currently down by a game. It is going to be sOs in the top left side, honestly showing us a very resilient game number 3. Game number 3, that's right. I always mess up the math in my head, but showing us that he can be pretty hard to kill if you're not able to get that early lead like we've seen in the other games. And Scarlett, who is spawning up on the top right side on Habitation Station, which is just kind of fun to say. I think that's what it's called. That's what I'm calling it anyway. Anyway, Scarlett still has the juice to be able to pull it off, but I don't know if she's going to be able to on this map. I really like this map. Now, the thing about this map is it may not be the most balanced map. Let's say that they played games on it for like a decade. At the end of the decade, I think people would say, you know what, there's a lot of really overpowered strategies on this map. But the thing that I like about this map is it is spicing up the metagame in ways that we honestly haven't seen in a very, very long time. Now, does that mean it's imbalanced? Probably. But does that also mean the players have probably not had enough time to actually practice those strategies to make them completely unbeatable? So basically, it spices up the metagame. It really rewards creative play, which is kind of what Boxer benefited from a long time ago when he first started getting into StarCraft, is that the creativity is what won, not having the absolute best build perfectly executed every single time. We do have the expansion going to be going down. Notice how Scarlett sent the drone down there just to scout if there was a pesky probe, and the probe right here is just going to reveal himself right away. And was that a hatchery first? Yes, it was, which is going to cue sOs to go ahead and go for the cannon rush. It's completely standard stuff right here. Scarlett, I think, realizes it pretty darn quickly. Indeed, she does. Gonna try and get that drone in there. Oh, that actually blocks. I cannot believe that that actually blocks right now. That drone's not going to be able to do all that much. Does she have to pull off more drones? Most likely will. And the probe can get out. Oh my god, placing the cannon there forces the probe out. Does not let the drone in, also cancels the pylon. Oh my god, what a crazy play there by sOs. And this is what I'm talking about, is this map has lots of crazy strategies, some of them pretty darn good. Notice how he also canceled the pylon there, which does open up that cannon to being attacked here. And we'll see if Lings actually manage to pull that one off or not. But for now, this is going to be 250 minerals plus the probe, which is 300 to kill off a 300 mineral cost hatchery. But you also have to include the drone, so that's going to be 350, and the lost mining time if she has to rebuild it. And right now, the drone over here is got to focus down this probe as well. We could be seeing a double cannon rush, and does actually block the cannon there on the first attempt. We'll see if Scarlett can deal with that second cannon or not. But wow, I cannot believe what we're seeing right here. Are we actually going to be seeing this work out? I honestly have no idea. I don't know if Scarlett can hold this out. This is a very tense moment for everyone involved, including me. Much more stressful for Scarlett, of course. And she is going to try and take these down, but the cannons have continued. Notice the Nexus is already on the way. Ling's going to be running over here as well. Scarlett realizes I need to save this high-yield expansion. A second pylon going down to protect those cannons as much as possible. It does look like, no, Scarlett can get in there. That's not completely walled in. She might be able to hold this off, and I think she will. The cannon should probably go for the drones here. Decides to go for the Lings. Drones are going to finish the job, though. Timed perfectly there. One last Ling does remain. That drone trying to join in the fun as well. This cannon might actually survive, though. More Lings trying to run over here. The pylon goes down to protect it as much as they possibly can. And this is actually very, very tense. Keep an eye on the hatchery down here. The hatchery actually goes down, and this cannon will eventually go down. So the hatchery itself is not going to die. It does need to cancel it there. But sOs pulling off a phenomenal cannon rush, and honestly, one of the most exciting ones. I mean, normally cannon rushes are like, all right, that was kind of cheesy. But I got to say, that one was at least fun to watch because, again, this map plays out so differently. What is that Zergling doing there, man? He's like the annoying little brother, just trying to join in the fun, but not actually doing anything productive. Now, Scarlett is forced to reconstruct the hatchery down the right side. Now, she does have the high-yield expansion. That's something you should definitely give her credit for. Able to hang on to the base that matters most, and did lose a lot of drones, or at least wasn't able to make as many as she would like, because you can see she is at a drone disadvantage. Very rare at this stage of a game, but if we take a look at the income right here, she's actually in the lead on income because of that high-yield expansion. That shows you how important those high-yield expansions are when the worker count is so low. Now, the real question for me is, Does sOs be very aggressive off of this? Ooh, I like the creep tune right there. That's going to go ahead and save that creep just a little bit. Does she decide, or excuse me, does sOs decide to be super aggressive, or does he try and macro and catch up? Because this high yield expansion is going to give him a lot of trouble as we move forward. Cybernex core not even done yet. We're almost at the 7-minute mark. No Cybernex core, which means delayed Warp Gate. It means delayed Stargate. It means delayed Colossus if you want to try and harass us with Colossus. So what does sOs do from here? I honestly don't know. I don't know, guys. We're just going to have to wait and see, as normally you do not see a cannon rush go on for that long. That was so much money spent on the cannon rush. Is actually going to be throwing down an extractor here. I don't know if throwing the extractor there is actually a good idea. I normally try not to think about their strategies too much, but I'm thinking maybe having the extractor down here is better, because then you have to force your opponent to decide which base to go for. Do you want to delay the minerals, or do you want to delay the gas? As opposed to putting it all, kind of all your biscuits in a barrel. Who puts biscuits in a barrel? I don't know. Putting all your eggs in one basket. There we go. Is kind of what this feels like over here. So Scarlett, the only reason I mentioned that is going to have to really pay attention to the next couple of minutes here, because if sOs is able to delay that in some way, then that is going to give her a lot of trouble. So right now the Zelda over there is just beast moding that tower, just going to be hanging out there. And we still do have the one cannon over here. Scarlett has not been able to spare any larva for that. We do have 15 drones on the way right here. Scarlett, oh, there's going to be the Oracle as well. Scarlett is going to be spotting the Stargate. Now remember, the Stargate actually shows you what unit it is constructing. You can see an Oracle-shaped unit being constructed there. So if she's paying attention, she should know that there is going to be an Oracle on the way. Does have 2 queens over here. Spore Caller goes down at the 3rd. Spore Crawler going down in the main. And I guess technically this is the 3rd down here. No Spore Crawler at the 3rd here, which 1 queen, I don't know if that's going to be nearly enough, especially the Mothership Core joining in as well. That's going to be a little bit of extra added DPS. Now, Scarlett does have a lot of money incoming right here. 1,800 resources. That should go higher as soon as those drones start to find their mineral patches. It does look like it's going to be going directly into the main base. Spore Crawler here is in range, is going to get a couple of shots off, and that means that the Oracle has wasted a bunch of energy, took a lot of shots to the face as well, and that was a minuscule amount of damage that sOs could have done there. So not the best start here for sOs. I would say that the fact that Scarlett has secured these bases now puts her in a pretty good spot. She's also going to be killing off this cannon relatively soon. We'll see if she decides to go for it, that natural or not. What is this over here? What is in there? What is that? It's kind of a creepy plant. Sorry, this map has so many doodads that I haven't actually seen before. They're kind of cool to look at. The roaches should probably kill off the cannon just to make sure that you can kind of free up that area. Make sure that you're also taking away vision. I mean, these guys, these cannons can see pretty far there, and we'll be able to spot that expansion when it goes down. So right now, though, Scarlett deciding that I'm going to be aggressive. She's saying, you know what, I have enough income right now. The problem is, though, is that she has super supply block with no overlords on the way, so her money is going to skyrocket. She just had to dump that into 6 overlords. I don't know if actually being aggressive right now is a good choice, because the thing is that if Scarlett loses these roaches, she's going to have way too much supply, and all that money that she's supposed to be spending. Oh, I don't know. This is making me a little bit nervous for Scarlett. sOs looks to be able to hold this off just fine. Does have 3 more cans on the way. Will most likely cancel those, to be completely honest. I mean, he could let them complete, but these roaches are really just not that big of a threat, especially with the force fields coming up. Scarlett in a lot of trouble. We actually have Tempest on the way. 11-minute Tempest coming out, and really the Tempest can just sit back here and bombard this base endlessly, and like I was saying, no gas taken down here is going to prove to be a super nuisance here for Scarlett. I don't know if Scarlett knows about the Tempest. I honestly can't remember or wasn't paying attention on if they were shooting yet or not. I don't think that they were. The first Tempest just now out, and there we go. Finally letting me click on. There's going to be the Tempest there, revealing himself. It does look like the Oracle taking a little bit of damage, but overall, Scarlett needs something other than just Hydrals. You're never going to catch up to those Tempests. Well, that Tempest right there kind of got... He's a friendly Tempest, man. He's just saying hello to all the neighbors. Not a good idea, though. We do have the Zealot counterattack going to be going over here. And remember, the cannon, it is powered by a pylon, which means you can just warp in US directly into the main base, which is something that Scarlett, I think, kind of overlooked right here. And it's going to be slowly whittled down by these Tempest. Now, Tempest is not something you see very often. I think a Hydra actually got taken out by that cannon as well, which is going to pay for that cannon alone, let alone the base being taken out. But the Hydra's there just slowly. I mean, it's annoying, but it's slow damage. It's steady damage. And the Roach got trying to run up here. Might be able to unpower all these cannons, trying to force field there to save them. It looks like they will be saved for now. The Roach is unable to do all that much. Scarlett, you can see, just playing very frustrated, trying to figure out how do I deal with Tempest at this stage of the game. Wanting to kill off the pylon, that's not going to happen at all. And, well, we got a lot of queens over here, but still nothing to take on the Tempest. How often do you see Tempest actually utilized in this manner? Almost never. We do have 14 drones on the way, though. The other hatchery finally going down. How many workers actually got killed off there? I guess not that many. She has powered drones for a long time, then went to Roach Hydra, and is now powering those drones once again. Taking a big risk here by going for those drones, but if she can establish that natural finally, she will be 4 bases to 3. But currently, I mean, you got to remember, it's been 3 on 3. There's going to be the Oracle utilized once again. Remember, if you're using that Revelation ability, you can basically see where that entire army is, so you can keep your Tempest alive very, very well, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. 3 more Tempests going to be on the way, and like I was saying, this high yield expansion, very difficult to defend. The Tempest might actually want to go straight for the gas, so that's exactly what they're going to do, trying to focus that down, as well as a couple of the drones. At the same time, Scarlett really struggling down here on the bottom right side, because you do have the Zealots. Got to be canceling that base out. We have another base on the way for Scarlett, but now's not really the time to mass expand. Now's the time to get some anti-Tempest. But I don't know, is there a unit that is anti-Tempest for Zerg? I mean, Corruptors are the only thing that come to mind. Mass Muta might be able to pull it off, but if you allow a Protoss to get the Sky Toss, basically more than just a couple of Tempests, then you are in a lot of trouble. You can already see the Annie and Pulse Crystals. The Spire is on the way, but if she makes Mutalist, the Annie and Pulse Crystals is going to be locking her down, so I really don't know what she can do here, because the whole point of this map is that it's very easy to secure the high yield base, very difficult to defend it, which is exactly what we're seeing take place right now. And the Extractor, the drone, actually that drone somehow survives by running inside and tries to survive again. Indeed it does. That poor drone, man. That's got to be so stressful trying to dodge all these giant balls of death. And the Oracle is back. What is it with these Korean Protoss and just keeping that Oracle alive for way too long? There's a pylon over here which will eventually get taken out. But this high yield expansion, even though it's close to being mined out, there was still a lot of resources left over here. We do have some Mutalisks on the way, 10 to be exact. 8 Tempest though, and we could be seeing Phoenix join in very, very quickly. And I have a feeling that these Mutalisks are just going to be spotted and hard countered right away, just by easily chronoing out a bunch of Phoenix here. We'll have to wait and see though, as it does like Zealot's trying to make it happen down here. And I will say Scarlett doing a good job at defending these locations for now. But I mean, it's Zealots killing Hydras, which is not something that should really be happening here, because there's just not enough reinforcements. No upgrades, by the way, though, on those units, but only +1 attack here for Scarlett. So Scarlett never able really to get that upgrade advantage. There's going to be the 3 Phoenix on the way. sOs showing he really wants to make Sky Toss work, and he really wants it to go to an ace match. Obviously, every player wants to go to an ace match, but I feel like sOs just really wants it. And the Annie and Pulse Crystals are done. The first Phoenix going to be spawning right now. Sure, you can call off a pylon or 2 here. Might be able to call off a Phoenix or 2 just because they had a bad spawn angle, but this is where the Korean micro of the Phoenix is going to really be important here. Can sOs actually continue to focus down these Mutalisks? So far, the answer is yes. Does unpower there, which is going to give Scarlett some very viable and valuable time here. The Tempest, though, going to easily scare those Mutalisks away. They do not stand a chance. The Zealots down here somehow going unchecked. Scarlett, again, with a good creep spread, a good unit composition right now, but just unable to defend these locations. That high yield expansion is relatively safe as well by the amount of cans that are here. I guess finds an angle, though, that's going to work out. Scarlett sacrificing those Mutas in the name of delaying the macro. Not sure if it's going to work out. The hatchery does remain down here, though. Scarlett currently on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases. But the DT looking to change that. Got to be taking out one of those bases. No detection in sight. And that means goodbye hatchery. sOs really winning his games by counterattacks. I don't want to say counterattacks alone, but he's using those counterattacks in a way that are keeping him just ahead and getting him further ahead. The Mutalisks are going to try and delay this. Might be able to kill off 1 or 2 of these cannons, and that would be kind of cool. Might be able to delay the expansion here, but the Phoenix going to try and prevent that. No, does force a cancel. Don't really want to kill a pylon there. Not sure if that's really worth it here. Might be able to get a cannon, but overall, Scarlett sure doing some damage, but taking so much damage in doing so. And the Mutalisks really have nowhere to run. They're trying to bait those Phoenix, but I mean, look at the speed. They line up perfectly. And the one Mutalisk right there trying to join it, they just take so much damage. +2 attack on those Phoenix. That is currently at 12 damage, and it attacks twice with every shot. Not looking good for those Mutalisks. I think that Mass Corruptor is going to be the only way to go, but the problem is she's never been able to get mass air control, which means that the Corruptor seems to be countered by Void Rays, and the Void Rays will be protected by everything else here. So not looking good for Scarlett, looking great for sOs. sOs kind of flexing his metal right now. Is that even the correct way to say that? I don't know how. I always mess up these sayings. I always combine like 2 or 3 sayings. Mutalisks right now got to try and fly him. I can say sOs is doing a great job sitting back. forcing Scarlett to come to him and killing off anything that's sent his way. This is so many cans down here. Are you kidding me? So many cans. I don't even know why there's that many cans. They're like, what is the purpose of that? I guess it was to hold off the earlier timings that Scarlett was doing. However, Scarlett does have those 2 bases rebuilding, or at least this one rebuilding, and a new one down here in the south. If she can hang on a lot longer and can continue to get the upgrades, if she can get fully upgraded Hydras and fully upgraded Corruptors, might be able to make something happen here. But for now, the Phoenix count is way too high, and got to be backing up with the Void Rays. There's the Corruptors here, but this is not going to be like the other game where the Corruptors are able to really hold their own. At this point, they don't have the armor upgrade. They don't have enough to do any damage. The DT here going completely unchecked, just slicing up these drones. Scarlett really unable to keep up with all this harassment no matter what she does. And I got to say, needs to have detection. Where are the Overseers at? There are 3. I don't know what they're doing, though. Apparently slacking on the job. But that DT right there getting 12 kills. The majority of those were drones. Overall workers killed 48 to 12. We still have another attack going on down here. The Phoenix is picking up everything, killing out the overlords. This is actually a massacre. This is actually a methodical picking apart of Scarlett. I mean, just losing on every front. The counterattack's doing too much damage. The army doing too much damage. There's no way to defend against this many Phoenix, and even if you do, how do you defend against this many Tempest? How do you defend against this many Void Rays and the High Templar to boot? That is a lot of High Templar, and I gotta say, SOS playstyle this game, absolutely terrifying. I'm actually going to have nightmares about going up against this ZerG, and I don't even play ZerG. This playstyle for SOS really starting to shine through right now, and honestly showing us that Sky Toss is still relevant. If you're struggling versus Mutalisk or early timings or whatever, this is the way to go. Apparently counter rushing is pretty good as well. And Scarlett, I mean, yeah, sure, able to kill a couple of probes here, but SOS just has her number, and it is 1-800-GOT-PWND. Is that the right amount of... No, that's too many syllables, I think. PWND, I guess you could spell. I don't know. 1-800-GOT-PWND. That sounds legit. I don't know if that number is taken, but someone should go out and buy it. Either way, we do have Scarlett's army in the middle here, just trying to make something happen. Her army currently consists of Zerglings and Queens and 2 Hydras, which I feel like is not enough. Sure, she killed some Zealots, but again, I mean, it's just not enough. You have to do way more than that. You have to deal with the Sky Toss army. Look at how cost-efficient SOS has been. More than double the cost efficiency there by keeping these Phoenix alive long enough to be able to make the other units that he needs and just killing off everything, preventing Scarlett from ever mustering up an army. I honestly don't see how Scarlett can win this unless she somehow goes completely unchecked long enough to get maxed out and has somehow the right unit composition to be able to kill off the entire army for SOS. Then maybe she stands a chance. I really don't think SOS is going to give her that opportunity, though, although does end up losing a couple of the Phoenix here. The Fungal's pretty good to deal with those. A lot of the Phoenix have actually been taken out right now, which does make the Tempest a little bit more vulnerable. But you notice, once the Phoenix die, he's not scrambling to make more Phoenix. He's like, all right, well, I'll use that supply to build Colossus, get extended Thermal Lance, and warp in a bunch of Zealots here. Not really concerned about it. There we go. The Zealots trapped. Zealots were trapped by other Zealots. There are so many. This is so many Zealots for the counterattack. Got to be delaying the upgrade. Going for the spawning pool as well. Focusing down those very, very, very important buildings. I don't know what Scarlett can do. I mean, she's trying, but she's just running into brick walls no matter where she goes. She's forced back to her base. Her creep spread, again, is just absolutely phenomenal, but just has no units to utilize that creep threat. And look at this, another counterattack going down here. Oh my god, SOS completely unstoppable. The spores here not going to be nearly enough. Hydra's going to try and spawn. I don't think they're going to be able to save that, though. Those Zealots just have too many upgrades, and +1 armor really helping out there. I mean, look how long it took to clean up just Zealots inside the main base. This hatchery is definitely dead, and they're boogieing out of there. They already had their next mission, which is try and kill off this hatchery, which I don't think is going to happen, but god, I wouldn't put it past SOS, as he has been doing just massive damage the entire game. One of the more one-sided games I think I've seen in a long time. And it's one of those things where it shows you Scarlett's resiliency. She still somehow has 184 supply. Can she kill off this army? I honestly don't think there's a way she can. But she has managed to get up an army once again. Can she manage to actually take down that army? And even in the midst of all that, still focusing on creeps right there just to get that one little spot over there. It's like painting, man. You don't want to miss a spot. But at this point, SOS, if Scarlett's painting, he's doing paint removal at this point, and to great success. Scarlett has to engage on the Spore Crawlers if possible, just getting any extra edge in this army that she can. The sentries up here do throw down ridiculous force fields. All those force fields is from 2 sentries. That's going to be trapping so much stuff. Those sentries are mass murderers. Someone take them to trial. They need to be in jail, as those sentries still alive, full energy, throwing that down. Scarlett's army literally getting cut into about thirds there. And again, we're just seeing SOS, just like in the last game, keeping his army alive. does throw a fungal out. That's not going to really do anything at this point. And the Spore Caller did take out, I think, the only observer. So if she has anything that is stealth, maybe it'll help out, but I don't really see Burrow being that effective right now. She is going to try and get as good of a concave as she possibly can. Well, one side of the concave just got absolutely annihilated. Storm's coming in as well, but I gotta say, Scarlett is running out of options. Here's the Infestors right now, can possibly land those fungals, but this is how Tempests were intended to be used, which is force the engagement slowly, force the Zerg to have to get out of position. And look at this, in the midst of all that, counterattacking yet another hatchery. Scarlett trying to get into a good spot, but the Storms, the story of this game is the Storms. Got to be eating up all those, not going to be doing any damage to this army. There's going to be the GG. The army that Protoss is known for, always getting that big death ball. An epic series between these two players. I think every game has been over 20 minutes, at least in-game time, which in real life I think they're a little bit shorter. But overall, one of the most close and one of the longest series I've seen as far as the best 5 is concerned, because usually there's 1 or 2 games in there that are like 1 or 2 minutes. Not 1 or 2 minutes, okay, that was an exaggeration, but usually there's a couple games that are just way short, but these games have made it to some pretty heavy macro phases, and Scarlett crumbling versus SOS under the pressure, and right now, this series is down to a best of 1. No other game matters whatsoever. I will say SOS is riding that momentum, and as Scarlett, you just can't feel good about losing the last 2 games. So to go up and realize you've only got 1 more chance is not a great feeling right there. So I will say that SOS does have the advantage in the next game, but Scarlett has shown us that she can take some games off SOS. So we're going to find out in game number 5, the ace match, as I love to call it, and really a lot of other people call it that as well. I did not invent the term ace match, by the way. They probably invented that like way back in the days before electricity. I'm sure there was something called an ace match. But either way, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time.